Arkansas, an outdoor paradise. People travel hundreds of miles to enjoy what, well, some of us take for granted. We are called the natural state without reason, with an abundance of rivers, lakes, and streams loaded with adventure. Scenic views that will take your breath away. Biking trails and back roads just begging to be discovered. Sit back and relax as Ray Tucker and longtime journalist Brian Hendricks explore our magnificent state with this week's edition of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors on a beautiful Central Arkansas Monday morning, or Monday afternoon.
That's why you're drinking coffee,
Yeah,
Brian.
the morning was pretty awesome, too.
Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Damon. How are you? And as far as weather reports, I don't think we need one because it just looks gorgeous out there, Damon.
Well, that's how it is.
Yeah, but, we're listening to that intro and all the beautiful places in Arkansas waiting to be explored. We're going to do a little bit of that tonight. And we're first going to go up to Northwest Arkansas with our first guest tonight, Preston Dominy. Do we have him, Damon?
Yes, we do.
All right. So,
yeah, how's it going?
Hey, good. We were up there visiting this afternoon, or let me start over.
It's the coffee deal you're drinking at 7 o'clock at night.
So anyway, we were up there this weekend on Saturday at the 3rd annual Kings River Smallmouth Shootout, and they've all been good, Preston, but this one was a record breaker for you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yes, this was a surprisingly good turnout. We expected it to keep growing a little bit, but as you alluded to there, in year 1 and 2, we were kind of hanging around the low to mid-20s as far as sign-ups go, and then this year we were able to get up to 41 teams.
41 teams, and so y'all have kind of raised in the neighborhood of about $2,500 a year for the first 2 years, and this time you doubled it, and that money is going to be used to do what?
Yeah, so all that money is going directly to getting kids that are tied up in the foster system out fly fishing. So in case anyone doesn't know, the Mayfly Project, which was started right there just north of Little Rock, what we do is we mentor kids in the foster system through fly fishing, get them outside, get vitamin D, all that good stuff. And for the Fayetteville Project, which is who I'm with, this is our big annual fundraiser so that, fly ain't free, waders ain't cheap. And then our final outing, too, we take them out to Dry Run Creek and stay down there at the North Fork Resort and show them what a real good long weekend looks like of trout fishing. And none of that stuff is free, and we got to get that money from somewhere. And so this tournament is how we do it.
How tough is it to find waders for kids?
Oh, it's not too tough. You'd be surprised. Orbis actually hooks us up pretty good. We still pay a little bit, but it's pretty good.
The conditions have been a little different all 3 years. Last year was, I would say, probably about perfect conditions. First year was real dry. People had a hard time finding a place to fish. They got landlocked a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
This year it was, I wouldn't say that the current was overly fast. It was just a lot of water pushing through real hard, and it made it really hard to fish.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of these Ozark streams is we've had a tournament, this year and last year were the same weekend, and then 3 years ago was just 2 weeks after this. And it's been completely different conditions all 3 years, which has made it a really cool tournament because you don't totally know what to expect. And this year, I mean, the water was just freaking gorgeous. That, real clear blue Ozark stream that you're looking for, but fast, like you're saying. And it seems like the teams that use sinking line and bigger fly seem to have more success. We definitely saw a little bit of feast or famine as far as it went. Some people came back with real full big scores, and some people came back and said they didn't get a bite all day.
All right, Brian, so you had a teammate, I understand.
Had a teammate, Rusty Pruitt. We have fished it together for all 3 years. And, this is one of those things where you do have to think ahead and you do have to strategize. And so Rusty and I had a plan. We had a strategy, and the water kind of took us out of that a little bit. Rusty caught all the fish. I guided the boat. He caught 4. I think we got in. I don't remember what our total length was, but it was not bad considering. I think it was 60 inches and changed at 1, Preston?
Yep.
And
yep.
And then the any fly, where you could kind of go into the consolation bracket, actually took 65 inches. But I was thinking when it was all done that Rusty and I agreed on this, that wish we had taken, committed to a topwater, some kind of a topwater streamer. I think that those fish would have come up out of those runs and current breaks and hit something on top. They weren't hitting what we threw.
That's hilarious. Yeah, were y'all in a canoe, or what kind of boat were y'all in?
Well, we were in a canoe, and I really didn't fish that much. I tried to drift boat it, keeping it ahead of the current, trying to keep it where he could get his fly on the bottom of the river and present it in a slow, bouncing fashion. And when we were able to do that, that's when he caught fish.
This is for both of you guys. A lot of people in Central Arkansas aren't familiar with the Kings River. Talk a little bit about it and what it offers.
Preston, you go first. That's up in your part of the world.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll try not to ramble because the Kings is pretty special.
Yep.
But it's an undammed, free-flowing river, pretty dependent on rain. So you'll get, like in the first year we had, I don't know exactly what the CFS was, but it's probably like 250. And I think this year, at the start of the tournament, it was between 1,600 and 1,700. So you can do the math there. That's quite a bit more water, and people were catching fish at both of them. It's just gorgeous, free flow. It's like just a classic Ozark River. If you haven't checked out the Kings, you definitely should. And then it winds up down there at Table Rock Lake, where the confluence with what would be the White.
Yeah, and it's got just a little bit of everything, depending on where you put in. It's pretty small up toward the headwaters there in the Marble area, and when you get down to where we fished, 62 to Grandview, it's not big water, but it's not small water. It's got a little combination of everything: a lot of rocks, a lot of wood cover, even some water willow, and big fish. This is one thing, Crooked Creek gets all that press for being the smallmouth trophy stream that it is, and it deserves it. Buffalo River gets a lot of press for good fishing, which it deserves. Kings is a little bit, I would say, overlooked, and I kind of like it that way, Preston.
Oh yeah. So we get on the radio and talk about it a little bit. but the other thing I'll say about it too is, the great part about it is that you get a really great walleye and white bass run. That was shown to me by Jackson Butt, the Kings River guide, who's the tournament co-director along with me. So if anyone's looking to come up and learn the Kings River and see it, however they want to see it, he's definitely the guy to do it.
Speaking of Jackson, I went up Friday and did a scouting trip with him in his jet boat, and the water was fast enough and high enough to allow that. And that's when I thought, we might be in a little trouble here with what we've got planned, because I don't know that it's going to work real well. But Jackson took me on a good scouting expedition up and down the river, showed me a lot of things, showed me a lot of technique that I'm not real familiar with. And I got to tell you this, that something I've noticed, Jackson, Preston, is over the years, at the first year or two, it's like a lot of the trout guys showed up to this tournament. And
Yep.
Trout fishing and smallmouth fishing is nothing. They got very little in common. I noticed that the people that showed this year were more of the hardcore smallmouth people.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I think we're just expanding our reach a little bit. We got a shout from the Ozark podcast. I think that core listener base is pretty into Ozark living and what the Ozarks naturally have to offer, and smallmouth are that. And then the other thing is, this is pretty dang anecdotal, but I think people are just starting to appreciate, exactly what I was just talking about, which is that they're the native sport fish around here, and if you want to experience a good, healthy Ozark stream, how God intended it, smallmouth are really where it's at.
All right, we're going to take a little break. Preston, can you join us on the other side for one more segment?
Yeah, I would love to. Appreciate it.
All right, we're talking with Preston Dominy, tournament director for the Kings River Smallmouth Shootout, big contributor to the Mayfly Project, and we're going to come back, make a little money with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. You too.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
Road Truck Days means Sold Truck Days at Gwatney Buick GMC. Call 501-945-4444. Right now, trade up to a 2025 GMC Sierra with Turbo Max at just 0.9%. Get hard-loaded 25 Sierra 1500 SLTs, discounted up to $13,000 off MSRP. Road Truck Days even includes the big boys. 2,500 3/4 ton, discounted over $11,000 off MSRP. During Gwatney Buick GMC's Road Truck Days, GMC Terrains are just $299 per month. Plus, all new Buicks qualify for 0.9%. Call 501-945-4444. Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at 5-star and family-owned Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 31328, 31264, 30710. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
Hello, I'm Brett Rogers, President of Capital Technology Group. You might know us as Capital Business Machines, but our new name represents our growth as one of the state's leaders in business technology. When you've been around for 80 years like we have, you learn a thing or two about change. But what will never change is our commitment to our clients. We're still the same reliable team here to meet all your technology needs. Capital Technology Group is bigger and better than ever before. Learn more at captg.com.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport, business travelers park fast at Expressway Airport parking. As you park, our shuttle picks you up, and a 60-second ride later, you're at the airport. Download our app and earn rewards. Simply scan the virtual gate pass to enter and scan again to exit. No waiting, and your receipt is emailed to you. Pay less than municipal airport parking at Expressway Airport parking, left of the airport entrance, next to the Comfort Inn.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we're visiting with Preston Dominy. We're talking about the third annual Kings River Smallmouth Shootout. It's a unique fly fishing tournament, and we didn't really get into that, Preston, but explain what the format of the tournament is.
Yeah, so basically the main bracket, the main idea that most people fish for the majority or all of the day, it's called the One Fly. And so what that means is, and the whole thing is a team-style float tournament. So basically the idea is you get a friend, y'all get in a canoe, a drift boat, or a raft, and y'all go floating for the day. And you pick out a fly that both of you feel confident you can catch smallmouth on. You each get one of that fly, got to be the same size, same color, and you got to stick with that the whole day. If you lose it, it's gone. You don't get to use another one. However, there is a backup bracket in which you can fish using any fly, and there's a whole separate score for that.
and you can lose a fly right off the bat, and if you're not prepared to go to a secondary fly, it can really mess with your head.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely hilarious, man. Whether or not you fish it from lose it at the beginning, or catch some fish at the beginning and then it gets slow, or don't catch any fish, or it kind of heats up at the end. It's like everyone's got their own psychosis with their one fly about why their situation's unique and why they should or shouldn't stick with it. And everyone comes back just like mentally exhausted. The float wears you out, and that's one thing, but everyone comes back mentally exhausted from battling with themselves on whether or not they should switch flies.
Preston, how many young people, young kids, have you all had take part in your program? How many of you affected their lives?
So right now we're paired up with one group home down in Fort Smith called Maggie House, and in total over our 3 years as a project, we've gotten to work with over 30 kids. We're pushing 40, and we're actually getting to the point where we're looking to expand out within Fayetteville. We are the Fayetteville Project. And we're about to start getting tied in with actual foster homes in the community as opposed to just the one group home we're working with, to get that number up even more. And, the fundraising for this tournament is a big unlock so that we can do all of that.
I think it was last year, maybe the year before, you had a big event at fundraiser at Chenal Event Center here in West Little Rock. Is that on slate for this year, or was that just for this group here?
That's a good question. That was actually the National Mayfly Project.
Okay.
The big cheese that was doing that. That wasn't specific to one individual project, which I think there's over 50 of now. Because we got one in almost all states. We've got a project in the UK, one in Canada, and so that was a fundraiser for the whole shebang. Whereas, and I did not get to go to that, so I couldn't really answer any questions about it or in the future. This tournament was specific to fundraising for the Fayetteville Project.
So when is the big shebang this year?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm going to check it out. I can tell you the tournament, the smallmouth shootout, will be May 30th. Same place, same time, Kings River Outfitters. As for the mending the line is what you're referring to, and I don't have the details handy on me right now.
Sorry about that.
No, all good. It's a good question. I should know.
So, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but there's something therapeutic about fishing, being on the water, casting, all that. And there's something about all those attributes that really, really make it possible to break down some barriers when you're with a youngster in a boat or on a creek somewhere, and you're trying to find some commonality, some way to connect and bond with this person. And fishing just breaks it all down so fast. Big time. And then on top of that, you really summed it up really, really well there. The two things I'd add, because you kind of like that's sort of you really, you should come out with this, because that was it in a nutshell right there. The two things that weren't necessarily forewarned's not the right word, because that's a negative connotation. The two things I didn't see coming were the success of fishing, especially if they've been at it for an outing or two and haven't really had a whole lot of success when they do start having success. With these kids in particular, you really start to see the importance of that, and having some positivity in their life and putting in the work for something and seeing a positive outcome with it. And then the other thing that really caught me off guard was the final outing that I was talking about, where we take them to Norfolk Resort. And we spend a day out at Dry Run Creek, and they get to stay in a cabin, all themselves. And we've heard kids talk about, like, trying to figure out what the concept of the cabins are, because they don't understand the concept of a vacation because they've never been on one. And so it's like, why are these cabins here? Why are we allowed to stay here? We don't really get it. And so that was really eye-opening to me, too, on just getting them. To me, what seems like a somewhat regular occurrence is literally the first time they've ever gotten to do it in their lives. So that's pretty special.
Preston, I know as an event and a nonprofit, you have people that make this possible, sponsors. You want to touch on some of those, please?
Oh, yeah, big time. So the biggest two really is McClellan's Fly Shop in Fayetteville. They really help us put this whole thing on. They donate the main prize there for the winners. Kings River Outfitters on the Kings. If you've never been on the Kings, or if you haven't, you want to go again, they make the tournament possible for us with the location and shuttles and rental boats for people that don't have their own craft. So those are the main two, and then really a million others. Uncle Sam in Fayetteville has been super helpful in the past as well. And, can't thank them enough.
All right. Well, we have enjoyed visiting with you, Rusty and I, as always. And really, really enjoyed fishing the tournament, being up there with everybody. Just being part of the excitement. And there's a lot of it. If you are down this way and want to get in on something really special and something fun, encourage you next year, May 30th, I think is what you said, to register for the 4th annual Kings River Smallmouth Shootout. And, we just look forward to that being bigger and bigger every year. Thank you, Preston.
That's
Donovan.
right. Appreciate the support, Brian. Thank you so much, man.
You bet.
Thanks, Preston. We'll be back to our Honda of North Little Rock studios here at 103.7 The Buzz right after these messages. The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
The leader in sportsbook apps in the state of Arkansas, Bet Saracen, has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Shipments of spring and summer fashions are arriving at Bell & Sword. That means swimwear from Saks, Peter Millar golfwear and shirts, Johnny O's store within a store. Be sure to check out the Faraday line and Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. So hurry in for a great value on quality men's clothing at Bell & Sword for your spring and summer items, and you'll look fantastic. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in downtown Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at the D3 Auto Sales text line at 501-614-1037. D3 Auto Sales in Desart, the #1 independent dealer in the state, with the best prices and largest selection on pre-owned vehicles, including leveled and lifted trucks. Find them on Facebook. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, from high school to the pros, hit us up on the D3 Auto Sales text line.
If you've ever stood overlooking a bluff on Petit Jean, floated the Buffalo, taken a leisurely drive through miles of Delta farmland, or even witnessed a brilliant sunset from your own backyard, you know Arkansas is full of beauty. Naturally, that leaves no room for trash. Get litter out of the picture and keep Arkansas in its natural state, clean and green. Visit KeepArkansasBeautiful.com to learn more. A message from this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. Welcome back to Rick Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Time to talk to Neil Atkinson with Saracen Casino Resort down in Pine Bluff. Neil, a big baseball game coming up tonight in Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. Little Rock's own Trojans are up against the LSU Tigers. They beat them last night, 10-2, and an excellent win to force this last game. And they are a plus 750 favorite on the money line. Earlier today, they were plus 850. That means a lot of money is starting to come in on Arkansas to move that line down. If you want to give up the run line, you can give up 5.5 points, and it will still play plus 115. So you've got that going on. An exciting night of baseball. Also, you got the other regionals in place to decide the other super regionals. But the good news is the Hogs are already there, and I think they're the highest remaining seed in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, I bet you have an updated score on Wake Forest and Tennessee.
I'm in the other room.
Oh, okay.
My trusty D1 baseball has it at 8-5, unless something's happened in the last minute or so.
8-5, Wake Forest or Tennessee?
Tennessee, and that is in the bottom of the sixth. So Tennessee is at bat.
And the winner of that one plays Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Absolutely. That's going to be one incredible weekend up there. That's going to be a hot ticket, and it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Neil, have a good evening. Always a pleasure.
All right, good luck, everybody. And don't forget NBA Finals and the NHL Finals. Check out the app for the specials. Good luck.
Download the app, betsaracen.com.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we are visiting with a special guest, Kurt Sawyer, calling us from somewhere in New York. Now, I gotta preface this by saying interviewing Mr. Sawyer is kind of would be like interviewing Gary Loomis, because I've been using his rods all these years. Well, I've been using Sawyer Outdoor products for a long time, 20 years. Water filtration systems, permethrin, insect repellents, things like that. So it's really, really an honor to have you on board with us tonight. Kurt Sawyer, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for letting me on.
Well,
in the middle of the D1 baseball season.
So is that why you're such a good fisherman, because you use their products?
Well, this is what I'll tell you this. I've got a kind of a philosophy that I drink from every stream that I fish from. And Sawyer Outdoor Products, they make these filtration systems, mini filters, life straws, things like that, where you can actually, drink water out of wherever you're at, purifies it, makes it as clean as it can be. And I've been doing that for years. And, I backpacked years ago from Arkansas to Maine, and your products were a part of that too. And I just wanted to, kind of ask you, how do you make a brand and make a life out of the products that you've done?
Yeah, well, it was not easy. I like to use the phrase that we lost money 23 out of the first 25 years until we became an overnight success. So
what was
it was a long, hard plot, but we always focused on having the absolute best products on the market. So and then we just had to go out and grind it out. We had to go out and explain all these things to people, and spend a lot of time educating. Now it's a lot easier with social media. All the influencers, they all promote our stuff because we literally are the best. We call it the best filters out there. So it's got a lot easier now, but it was a grind for sure.
What was the
a lot of times in the stores? I would camp out for 12 hours in the Bass Pros, Cabela's, Ariat.
What was the thing that finally got you over the hump? Was it maybe, Outside Magazine doing a piece on you, or, how did that happen? Or was it just a steady build?
No, it was a steady build. Well, we had two big years during the Gulf War 1 and Gulf War 2. First one, we made all the sunscreen. Second one, we did a lot of the repellent. But really, the filters, when we got into the water filter business, the entire category was 70,000 units. And that was ceramic filters, these heavy things, paper matrix, whatever. And then we introduced the hollow fiber membrane, which is the technology we use now. And in 20 years, nobody's matched us. And, we do millions of these. We took that category from 70,000 units a year to several million units a year in just domestic consumption. Plus, we do all the international stuff where we go every hurricane and earthquake. We're always right there. So that was one. I mean, plus our repellents are pretty big. We've moved in out of DEET into picaridin, which is the replacement for DEET. It doesn't melt your equipment, and it works just as well. Sometimes it works better depending on the type of insect you have. So we're always at the cutting edge.
Well, the
And we got
permethrin,
the hottest product on the market right now.
the permethrin is something, I'm big into turkey hunting, and of course in Arkansas, springtime and turkey hunting equals chiggers and gnats and ticks. You're just going to get them. And I have for years sprayed my clothing down, a couple of days before the season, drenched them in Sawyer permethrin, let them, dry hanging over a fence, and last all through the season. Have not had a tick bite in years because of that.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the best tip about that people don't think about. When you're bringing home the turkey, or later in the year you're bringing home the deer, when you look in the back of your truck, what's going to happen? All the ticks are going to fall off as the animal cools down.
Right.
So just put a treated blanket or treated canvas down there and let the ticks fall on the treated canvas, and by the time they get home, they're all going to be dead.
Yeah, and
So we always say, bring home the trophy, not the ticks.
and that's how people, that's one of the main theories of how Lyme disease spread around the country was exactly what you're talking about, is people killing a deer here and transporting it 100 miles and releasing infected, Lyme disease infected ticks and into new areas.
Yeah, you're bringing them to your house too,
Right.
So they're in the back of the truck and they're still alive. So why not just kill them in the truck, let them fall off on the treated fabric, and then when they come home, it won't make any difference.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got started in, in this business. What was your passion that led you down this road?
Well, storied career in products that outdoor. Well, they were the power tools that you found in the hardware store, and I came across the extractor, a quick sudden vacuum, and it's still in the Walmarts today. 40 years later, it's for suction of snake bites and bee sting kits. A quick sudden vacuum is an interesting medical device. So we could suck out the venom of a snake bite, a bee sting, mosquito bite, all that kind of stuff. So we started with that. And then once you're in there, and that was everywhere. Everybody picked that up because it was got rid of those little rubber suction things that didn't work at all, and you're supposed to cut yourself. So we immediately went into every camping department. Well, then the way you build a business, which is in the book, by the way, the Sawyer Think book, is you sell more things to your existing customers. And that's why we would sit in the Cabela stores, the Bass Pros, the REIs, just sit there for 12 hours listening. What else do you need? What else do you need? What else can we get for you? And the buyers love that. They would come to us and say, can you make this for us? And so it just went from there, and it got into the sunscreens, the repellents. We were big in first aid for a while. Now we've moved on. And then came the water filtration. So we were always solving problems that the outdoor person has. So you just listen and say, okay, let's work on that. And we'll figure it out. And we always found the best solution.
Excuse
me. That's how we built it.
Brian made mention of your rods.
No. That was just an analogy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Sorry, he doesn't make fishing rods.
Nope.
So anyway, sorry to interrupt your train of thought there, but what's next? What's coming down the pike? We're visiting with Kurt Sawyer of Sawyer Outdoor Products.
Yeah, actually, it's Kurt Avery. I named the company's name Sawyer. I would never name the company after myself in case we were either a success or a failure. I couldn't do that to my kids. So we named it after Tom Sawyer. Literally, that was in the logo, Tom Sawyer running through the woods. We just brought out the newest, hottest product in the camping business right now. We did a collaboratory with Knox Bladders. And so you have the world's best bladder and the world's best filter. We put them together. We can't even begin to keep up with demand. We're flying them in and shipping them out, and nobody's getting all they want. So it's the hottest thing out there right now. But really, technology-wise, the next thing we're working on is the water filters around the world. I'm doing a project now. We hope within a year or two we'll have everybody in Honduras will not be sick. We'll just wipe out sickness in the whole country. We've done maybe 30 million people are never sick again because of the filters, because you can't get sick if you drink the water through the filters. Hundreds of thousands of babies live. So really taking this technology overseas, everywhere. We're 140 charities in 80 countries. So you name it, we're there. North Korea, Yemen, Gaza, any place where they need water, we're there. So that's kind of got our focus now. We're still doing all that good stuff. I mean, we're still the number one brand of, filters on the hot trails, and our repellents are pretty hot. So Messing, we own that market. And we do all the military. Soldiers use our fabric treatment and our topicals.
All right.
So,
well, Kurt Avery, thank you for joining us on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. It's been a real enlightening pleasure to visit with you and learn about these great products. And join us on the other side as we take us a little break. Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Road Truck Days means Sold Truck Days at Gwatney Buick GMC. Call 501-945-4444. Right now, trade up to a 2025 GMC Sierra with Turbo Max at just 0.9%. Get hard-loaded 25 Sierra 1500 SLTs, discounted up to $13,000 off MSRP. Road Truck Days even includes the big boys. 2,500 3/4 ton, discounted over $11,000 off MSRP. During Gwatney Buick GMC's Road Truck Days, GMC Terrains are just $299 per month. Plus, all new Buicks qualify for 0.9%. Call 501-945-4444. Road Truck Days means Soul Truck Days at 5-star and family-owned Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 31328, 31264, 30710. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
Congratulations to Henry O'Keefe of Little Rock Christian and Yin-Yo Yang of Conway for being named the All-Arkansas Preps Outstanding Players of the Year in Golf as chosen by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. They are among the 400 Arkansas high school athletes who will be honored at the All-Arkansas Preps Awards Banquet on Saturday, June 14th, sponsored by CHI St. Vincent. The event is emceed by Steve Sullivan with special guest David Basil and linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, Demario Davis. To find out more about the athletes selected or to purchase tickets to the event, visit allarkansaspreps.com.
Most people think HR is pushing out payroll and filling out forms, but you know better. You're looking to shape culture, drive strategy, and truly lead people. And on June 24th, you can be seen and heard at the TPC Together Conference. Attend sessions to help grow and strengthen your organization and connect with a community that actually gets what you do. June 24th at the Oasis Hotel and Convention Center in Springfield. Space is limited, so register now for the HR event that's redefining what's possible. The TPC Together Conference.
Introducing Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks, a club that's fun, full of adventure, and open to anyone. Just pick up a free passport at any state park visitor center and start exploring. With every state park you visit, you get a stamp. When you get all 52 stamps, you're in the club. And you get some pretty cool rewards along the way. So grab your passport and start exploring. Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks. Get out to get in.
Brought to you by this station and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. And visiting with us on the line from wonderful, warm, and sunny Minneapolis, Minnesota is Joe Opager. And he was down in Central Arkansas, Hot Springs, this last week for the Major League Fishing BFL All-American. I believe it's the 7th time that Hot Springs hosted that. And always great to see Joe at these events. And we had a good time visiting, and it was a real neat event. Mateo Torano of Puryear, Tennessee, led it. No, he didn't lead it wire to wire. He led the second round and won it. Great tournament, though. Big fish, a lot of big fish. It was, I think Lake Hamilton showed out, didn't it, Joe?
Oh, absolutely, Brian. You're absolutely right. You know, Mateo almost led it wire to wire. He was in second place after day one, just off the lead, and then, of course, he took the lead on day two. And then led the rest of the way through the end of the event and took home the big $120,000 prize. But you're absolutely right. I can't believe how well the lake was fishing. I mean, we were just there 3 years ago for the All-American, another All-American, like you had said. And what did you guys put in the water? Because holy moly, the 8s and the 9-pounders were really showing up this week.
Well, Ray and I had a real good couple of weeks, and we saved all those fish, Joe, and we just kind of planted them around the lake.
Yeah.
We sure do appreciate that. Let us make some good television, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Joe, Hot Springs always rolls out the red carpet for you guys.
Oh, my gosh. You couldn't be more right, Ray. I mean, Steve Harrison and his team would visit Hot Springs, and then the Arkansas Game and Fish Department, there's a reason why we've come back so many times. I mean, Hot Springs, like Brian said, it's hosted this event 7 times, and that's, I think, the next closest venue that we've been to, I think, is 3 or 4. So, I mean, we've been to Hot Springs so many times, and there's a reason we keep coming back. It's the fishing. The fishing keeps getting better and better. The facilities, everything down at the Access was exactly what we needed. Great crowds every day. And then just, the people. When guys were stopping and getting gas, they were getting swarmed for autographs, and these are weekend anglers that aren't used to that kind of stuff. So it was just a really fun event for everybody involved, no doubt.
One thing that happens at the All-American that doesn't quite happen at the same level at the bigger events, the Bass Pro events and everything, is your local guys that fish the BFLs. They really do like to get out on the water and follow these guys around because they feel like they're peers, I think. And, they're kind of on the same level, and they want to get out there and see how they're fishing and where they're fishing and what they're using on a level that they might not do the same thing if they were following a Van Dam around or somebody like that.
Right. No, Brian, you mentioned the local guys, and it was kind of weird in this one. We always typically have an Arkie or two in every one of our tournaments, it seems. Like, that's just the way it's been. The way this one shook out this year, it was kind of weird. There were no Arkie Division boaters that qualified for this one. We had a couple co-anglers in there, but no Arkie Division boaters. But that being said, I think I met half a dozen Arkie Division boaters on Sunday because you're exactly right. They were out there at the event following guys around on the water. They were at the weigh-ins congratulating the winners and, just kind of almost hosting us, which was really kind of cool to see. And that's not something you get as we travel the country, with some of these other venues that we visit, with just the local guys and supporting them so much. And it was just a really, really fun experience. And, these grassroots anglers really had a great time.
Joe, in politics, there's the State of the Union. If you would talk a little bit about the state of bass fishing.
Gosh, Ray, how much time you got for me here? I mean, I think I could go all night on that. But the state of the bass fishing overall is good. I mean, the sport continues to grow. We're seeing record-breaking viewership numbers at Major League Fishing this year on our live streams. More people are tuning into tournaments than ever before. But, of course, there's the big elephant in the room that's kind of overarching the entire sport right now with the forward-facing sonar debate. And how do you rein in technology? Or do you rein in technology? Or, there's just kind of that big it's almost you're on one side or the other. It's kind of like politics. You're absolutely right. But overall, the sport is doing extremely well. Hopefully, these new viewers draw in some of the newer sponsors and the big endemic, non-industry type sponsors that really gets the eyeballs on us. And one day we can get to that PGA or NASCAR type level with, we're on network television every weekend. That's what we all want to see.
All right, Brian, you're around all the time. Why is the fishing so good now on Lake Hamilton and the fish bigger?
Well, it's got them, and it always has had big fish, Ray. And right now, they drain Lake Hamilton every year in the wintertime, and then they raise it back up, I think, in March. And those fish, they've got all this new habitat to inhabit, and they just kind of get up around the docks and things where they couldn't get to in the wintertime. And I think that the All-American just happened to get there at the right time. And Matteo Tirano just found a pattern where big bass were actually guarding fry, according to him, which is unusual. And he was able to pick that apart and get a couple of those fish, every single day. And that's what I was going to ask Joe is that, on the BFL level, a lot of times those anglers might not be quite as adept at identifying a pattern and picking it apart and picking it open. But Matteo did that.
Sure. The BFL, you kind of see anglers across the entire spectrum. You kind of see the weekend guys that have the normal 9-to-5 jobs that have been fishing for 20 years, and they qualify for this event. Matteo, he's a 23-year-old kid. He's a former college angler. He moved to Tennessee from Illinois to work at a marina and rig boats, and he eats, sleeps, and breathes fishing right now. No wife, no kids. He's out there every day. So you can kind of see the big difference when you got the time to put in on the water and with your electronics and learning those skill sets. It makes a massive, massive difference, and we saw that this week.
Any plans for you guys to come back to Hot Springs in the near future?
Gosh, I think number 8 we could be announcing any time, Ray. I haven't heard any specific plans yet. I do know that we've got a couple events left in that BFL Archie division to finish out this season to qualify for next year's All-American. But we don't know where we're going yet for the All-American. We haven't announced the schedules for next year. That usually starts happening next month, right around ICAST time. So I think within the next 6 weeks or so, we'll be finding out more information, and it would not shock me at all to see a return, whether it's to Lake Hamilton or Lake Ouachita or DeGray or, gosh, even Beaver Lake. You guys have incredible fisheries up there in Arkansas.
Yeah,
it would not shock me at all to see us come back.
Yeah, see, DeGray's showing out just like Hamilton is right now too. You wouldn't be making a bad decision to go there, but I think after your visit to Fisherman's Wharf, Joe is probably lobbying pretty hard to come back.
What a steak, Brian! You're not kidding. That was one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life.
Well, it's always good to visit with you and break bread and just kind of share how the year's gone. We were together in Huntsville, Alabama at the Red Crest, and that was a great event. And to follow it up with a great event here in close to my hometown, it was just a real pleasure. I always love to see the big tournaments come to Central Arkansas.
Definitely. We've got a lot of momentum right now, Major League Fishing, and we just want to keep it rolling.
All right.
Joe, always a pleasure. Sorry I didn't get to visit with you this trip down. Look forward to the next one, and keep doing all the great work you do for bass fishing across the world.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, we'll take a break. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in Lake Conway, high water on some area lakes. Back in a moment. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where the hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Join the Zone each Monday for Game Balls and Jockstraps, brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday as Justin and DJ give you their Game Balls and Jockstraps on the Zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for Game Balls and Jockstraps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport this morning, you want secure parking and fast. At Expressway Airport Parking, our lot is well lighted and has 24-hour security. Only customers and employees can enter the gate. Your car and you are safe from thieves. And if you return to a dead battery or a flat tire, we're there to get you back on the road. Pay less than municipal airport parking at Expressway Airport Parking, left of the airport entrance next to the Comfort Inn.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. We are back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, coming to you live from our coming to you live from Honda of North Little Rock. Gwatney is one of our regular advertisers. If you need a ride, get out and explore Arkansas, go by and see the good folks at Honda of North Little Rock. All right, Brian, let's talk a little bit about waterways in Arkansas, rivers and streams and whatever. We've had an awful lot of rain up north, and it's affecting everything.
Affecting everything, and if you drive over the 430 bridge or if you go down to Murray Park, you'll see the Arkansas River very, very high, very swift, and it doesn't take long for that to blow out. But it's taking in a lot of water, and we were talking about Randy Rainwater was asking about Lake Conway earlier, and that's that area is just a real low-lying area, and the plan was to drain that, dry it out, let the plants and all the vegetation grow up, let the soil compact, and then after about 5 years, they were going to rebuild it. The Game and Fish Commission was going to rebuild the dam, refill the lake, restock the lake. Well, every time you go by there, it looks like it never drained. Well, we've been getting so much rain that it just sits there, and it will go out eventually, but I don't know how much that's affecting their timetable. But another thing that happens is if the Arkansas River gets up high enough,
Alarm Creek backs in there.
It backs into the lake. So you got that going on. So there are parts of the lake that are at the higher elevations that are, they're dry. If you go by there, it just looks like prairie through there. And when that finally refloods, all that grass and all that stuff in there is going to rot and release nutrients into the lake. That's going to supply a food chain that from your microorganisms up to your bait fish to feed your game fish and all that. But we're still looking at a few years, in the future for that.
All right, you sent me a text last week, Wednesday or Thursday, saying that the floodgates were open on Greer's Ferry.
Blowing out there too, the Little Red River flows into Greer's Ferry Lake, and that feeds the Little Red River trout fishery there. But they had to open the gates and let a lot of water out real fast. And for people that own docks and bankside property there, that's always a big concern when you get a big flush of water through there that rises real high and real fast like that. It's real tough on docks. You used to live there. You know what that's like.
Yeah. And I always feared that. Crazy thing about it, when I built a home there, I visited with the bank, what's it called, the floodplain.
Mm-hmm.
And I had documents, and it's not in the floodplain. And so the bank was very kind with me and carried on out because flood insurance is very expensive. Well, come to find out, I didn't have to have flood insurance. When they did turn all that water loose like that, I don't know if that is true or not, whether you're safe.
Yeah, and it's not just the Little Red. They're having to flush a lot of water out. You think about that White River system. All Beaver Lake gets the first holding reservoir, and when it gets high enough, they release water into Table Rock. They hold it, goes into Bull Shoals. Norfolk is emptying at the same time, goes all into the White River there. So all of the lakes up there are swollen, and they're having to turn a lot of water loose in a hurry, which of course affects all the way down to Clarendon and all that down there. You got high water.
It affects a lot of farmland at this time of year, which you don't want.
That's right, and cold water too. So it affects the bottomland timber as well. They're starting to see effects of that. Prolonged flooding of cold water from the northern lakes, along with some other things that are going on there. They believe, dicamba going into the water is affecting trees. So, there's an old saying that we all live downstream. Well, everything that comes down does affect us.
I was in Baton Rouge, so the Mississippi River there, crossed at Vicksburg, and it's high too, so we wouldn't expect. All right, I got to ask, how did you and Rusty fare in the mayfly deal?
Not as well as we would have hoped, but better than we probably expected. Rusty got on a little bit of a pattern. He figured something out. He caught, you measure your 5 fish, It's a real cool thing, Ray. You've got an app called Tourney Pro X, and you have to join that thing. And so what you do is when you catch a fish, you put it on a certified bump board, measuring board. You got a little, it says TP 25, Mayfly Project 25. So you hold your fish down on this so that your tattoo thing is in the picture. You can see how long the fish is. You take a picture of it and you upload it to their live weigh-in. And so they keep to the leaderboard, and so you do that. So Rusty ended up catching 4. I think we measured somewhere in the neighborhood of around 50 inches. Not bad. He caught one that was 14 inches. And if we had known that you could do this, they'd give a prize out for the smallest fish, and Rusty definitely got that.
You're taking a shot at Pruitt.
No. It was a long ear sunfish, and if we would have known that we could win a prize from that, he would have. So mainly I paddled the boat, kept him in position so he could fish. And
he's a good fisherman.
He is a good fisherman.
Good.
But
it hurts to say that.
Well, I tell you, we fished the same stretch of water last year. It took all day, and we were worn out. If we had not put a paddle in the water, we would have been 2 hours. That's how fast it was.
B, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for lining up our guests tonight. You folks get out and enjoy the Arkansas out of doors. Please, if you're looking for something that our advertisers have, reach out to them. We appreciate that very much. We'll be back here next Monday night, 7 o'clock on 103.7 The Buzz. Enjoy the Arkansas out of doors.